Hello, my name is Ekaterina Latasheva and I'm a project officer at the Managing Authority and Joint Secretariat. In this tutorial, I will provide an overview of the reporting procedure for the projects on the assistance to the policy area coordinators of the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region. I will explain how reporting works, where to find the forms and deadlines, and what steps need to be followed. Now, I would like to present some practical information to start with. Overall, the project's implementation is divided into reporting periods. By the end of each period, we would expect to receive a progress report from you. Progress reports cover periods of 12 months, except for the last period, which is longer, as it includes also the closure phase. So, you have to submit one progress report per year. All the forms that are needed for reporting are available in BAMUS Plus, the program's electronic data exchange system. They need to be filled out and submitted online only through your BAMUS Plus account. No paper documents are needed. On the project dashboard in BAMUS Plus, in the section Reporting Periods, you can also check the dates of all the reporting periods and the deadlines for submitting progress reports. The actual deadline for submission of your report for the ongoing period will also be visible on your project dashboard as soon as the reporting form is available. The deadline for submission is usually 1 month after the end of the reporting period. For instance, the submission of the second progress report is due on 1st of February 2024, as the second reporting period ends on 31st of December 2023. Please be reminded that with every progress report, you also need to submit feedback from the steering group of each policy area involved in the project. Before issuing the feedback, the steering group needs to review the progress and achievements of the policy area during the reporting period. In this feedback, the steering group should also inform the program how satisfied it is with the progress achieved by the policy area coordinators. The feedback, filled out and duly signed, has to be uploaded in the section Documents. In BAMUS Plus, please select tab Other Documents of the project, scroll down to Additional Documents, add the description, for example, feedback from the steering group of the policy area culture, and upload the file. The template for the steering group feedback is available from the program's Managing Authority and Joint Secretariat. For the final report, projects will have a 3-month closure phase after the reporting period. The final report is submitted at the end of this phase. In case of justified delays, the lead partner may request a prolongation of the deadline through the BAMUS Plus messaging center. There are different steps that the lead partner and partners of the project will have to go through until the submission of the progress report. Firstly, before starting with the first partner report, the lead partner has to provide access to BAMUS Plus to all project partners. The access remains valid for the following reports. Secondly, every project partner, including the lead partner, has to fill in a partner report. The partner report templates are managed by the lead partner. If you would like to hear more about these 2 steps, we explain how to do this in the tutorial on partner reports. Afterward, the lead partner collects the partner reports. Together, the partners prepare the progress report for the whole project, especially if the project involves 2 or more policy areas. Here, it is worth highlighting that the financial data from the partner reports are imported by the lead partner into the financial part of the progress report. No copying of data is necessary. The BAMUS Plus system automatically aggregates the reported expenditure. The lead partner only reviews the plausibility of the imported data and, if relevant, add comments regarding the overall project spending. In the progress report, the lead partner also reports on the progress of project activities together with all partners. More explanation on this in a minute, and also in the tutorial reporting form in BAMUS Plus. When the activity part is completed and all financial data are imported, the lead partner submits the progress report to the MIGS. Once you have submitted your progress report, the clarification process starts. Your project and finance officers at the MIGS will review your report and send you a clarification form with further questions or requirements. You will then have to provide your answers in the clarification form and amend the report if required. In this case, please think about submitting both the updated report and the clarification form at the same time. If some questions are still pending, the process continues. The usual time provided for lead partners to reply to the clarification form is 2 weeks. Here as well, prolongations of the deadline can be requested by lead partners through the messaging center in BAMUS Plus. Once all questions are clarified, the process comes to an end and we proceed with the payment. Overall, monitoring of the activity part of the progress report performed by the MIGS has 2 main parts. A core check of the submitted progress report and the feedback from the steering group of the policy area, and a desk check of a selected item, for example, a publication or an event carried out during the reporting period. Now we would like to explain a bit more about the activity reporting, namely what kind of information on project activities the MIGS expects to find in the progress reports. In short, in the progress report, lead partner and project partners will have to write about the project's achievements per policy area and about the progress in implementing the planned activities. If you planned to develop any deliverables, please include this information on the progress as well. With every progress report, you will need to fill out Section 1, Overview Progress, and Section 2, Work Plan. Additionally, with the final progress report, you would need to complete Section 3, Indicators, as well as the annex to the report. And now let's take a closer look at each section. In Tab 1, Overview Progress, first of all, there is a space to enter the link to your project webpage. Please make sure that you include the direct link to the policy area webpage, either hosted by your organization or the EUSBSR website. We expect you to keep the content of the page updated on a regular basis. It is also important that Interreg funding is clearly acknowledged on the project page, as well as that the visibility rules are followed. Then, there is a space to share with us your main achievements since the beginning of the reporting period. In this field, please explain what were the most important achievements and highlights in your policy area in this reporting period. What was the progress in implementing policy area actions? What was the steering group's involvement in the policy area work? Please elaborate on whether cooperation with other policy areas has taken place. Please explain how you reached out to and engaged stakeholders of your policy area, what organizations you worked with, whether you have made some plans or already achieved some results. We encourage you to write this section in the style of a press release. What we mean here is that in this field you can tell the story of your achievements in an easy-to-read and understandable way without copy-pasting detailed parts of the partner report. You can save space and show structure by using bullet points, but make it logical. Here is an example of how you can present your main achievements. We would like to remind you that MAGS will share the information from the progress reports and in particular Section 1 of View Progress with the Baltic Sea Strategy Point. The BSP collects information on the achievements in the EUSBSR policy areas for the national coordinators of the EUSBSR. The BSP may share the policy area achievements with other relevant stakeholders, for instance, with the European Commission. You also have space to indicate any unexpected developments or challenges linked to project or financial management during this reporting period. For instance, later start of the activities or slower spending than planned. If you are not facing any challenges during this reporting period, please mention it, as this section cannot be left empty. And the last space in this section, additionality, is to describe how your organization hosting the policy area coordinator supports and complements the activities carried out with the program funding. Here you can share, for instance, in-house expertise for policy area coordination not reported through the project, or synergies with working groups hosted by your organization. Please always check the guide for each field in the progress report that the MAGS prepared to support you in the reporting process. We recommend reading the guide for the section first and checking what kind of information is required. The next step is Step 2, Work Plan. This section is organized according to the work plan that you have outlined in your application. From the main work plan section, you can navigate to all groups of activities. Additionally, you'll find an overview of the timeline agreed upon for your activities. The symbol accompanying the work package section indicates whether this section has been completed or not. By clicking on the single groups of activities, you can access the reporting section. Here, you will first have to indicate the status of the group of activities in the drop-down menu. In the guide, you will find more information of what the different status options mean. Please be careful in selecting the appropriate status, as it influences which other sections will be visible to you. It is quite straightforward. If there is no activity planned in the reporting period in the timeline agreed in the application form, there is nothing to write. You select the status, no activity planned. If the activities have started and will continue in the following periods in line with the agreed timeline, it means they are ongoing. You can also indicate the status if you start your activities earlier than planned in the timeline. The activities are delayed in two cases. Either you should have started the activities according to the timeline, but you have not yet, or by the end of the reporting period, you should have finished the activities according to the approved timeline, but the finalization is delayed for some reason. When you indicate this status, a new section will be available in which you will be able to explain the reasons for the delay, its consequences, and how you intend to remediate this. If you have finalized the activities in this group of activities during the current reporting period, you should indicate the status finalized. You can only indicate this status if you have indeed finalized the deliverable resulting from this group of activities. In the following progress reports, you will still be able to provide updates on this group of activities in case it's relevant. For instance, if additional activities have been implemented even though the deliverable has been completed. Moving on to the next sections once you have indicated the status of the activities. For the section Implementation in Current Reporting Period, we invite you to describe the implemented activities and their main outcomes, cooperation between the partners with the Policy Area Steering Group and other relevant stakeholders in the EUSBSR. Here you include the progress of the deliverables if they were planned. In the section Challenges, you should describe challenges if they have occurred in this group of activities. for instance, in reaching and involving target groups, or maybe in cooperation with a partnership, or changes in the planned activities. And if you selected the status delayed for the activity, you will have an additional field, delay encountered, where you can explain why this activity is delayed and in which period you plan to finalize it. You should also clarify if there is any impact on the rest of the project. And moving forward to tab 3, Indicators. In the final progress report, you will need to report on the output and result indicators against the plans made in the application. For each of the indicators, you will enter the value achieved at the end of the project and the corresponding explanations. In case of deviations from the targeted value, you should explain the reasons in this section as well. For the result indicator, you will need to describe how the project partners and, if relevant, associated organizations will continue cooperation for strengthening the multi-level governance of the EUSBSR after the end of the project. Finally, you will need to complete an annex to the final progress report. The template will include the guidance that will help you to fill it out. In addition, the MAGS may organize a webinar in due time. We wish you a smooth and effective submission of your progress report.